Welcome to the garage. I'm Chris. My friends call me the Candyman, and you already know what time it is. Tonight, we're drafting best ball teams. And hey, this puppy too, it's filling pretty quick. I think I've done 6, 7 of them so far. Not enough. Got to get more in, got to get some volume in. It's Thursday night. It's going to be a long weekend for me. Another vacation coming up. But before I go, I got to get some more drafts in. So I'm going to rip some puppies tonight and see what we can get into. These puppy ADPs have been insane. I posted on Twitter earlier today. And if you're not following me already, follow me on Twitter at FFB Garage. I posted a pic today of a draft I was in. I saw Derrick Henry go at the 101. I took Jamar Chase at the 102. Ended up being a pretty good team for me, but these puppy ADPs are insane. They're out of this world. Weird things are happening. Let's get in there. Let's draft some teams, and yeah, man, having a fun time with these puppies, and excited that Underdog's been pumping out contests lately. But we got another large field puppy that's going to be open for I don't know how long actually, but it's a big enough tournament, and it's not like some of these other time boxes that are 20 max and whatever else. This one, it's a big one. So I'm gonna get some volume in on this thing, draft a few teams tonight, have some fun. So come on, get in here, say what up in the chat. If you're new to the channel, if you're watching this in the future, subscribe. Make sure you hit the like. Leave a comment. Let me know if Travion Henderson is a steal at his current ADP, or if you're more of a Ramondre Stevenson value kind of drafter. And I'm on a goal to hit 500 YouTube subscribers by the start of the NFL season. I'm getting pretty close. I think we can do it, but I need your help. So make sure you're subscribed. Come say what up in the chat. Get in here. We have a great community of fantasy football enthusiasts, really. A lot of best ball content, dynasty content, fantasy football strategy in general. Come get your questions answered. Tons of sharps. Hang out, draft with us every night. And we're going to be drafting best ball teams all summer long. Hot best ball summer. We're not even at the peak yet. We're just getting started. Even though we've drafted over 350 teams and we've been doing this since, I don't know, draft since February, but we're just getting started. And with training camps coming very soon, I'm going to be attending Texans training camp as I usually do. So that's on the agenda to get some of that insider info. Let's go ahead and get into some drafts. I'm going to join a puppy right now. So if you're watching this now, if you want to get into, go ahead, hit enter now, and let's draft some puppy teams. There it is. All right, I'm in. 20-second puppy. Waiting on 3 more to start. Without further ado, let's kick it to the intro. But overall, it's like the guy can ball. Like actions speak louder than words. What up? What up? How we doing on this Thursday night? And I'm in here. The draft is starting. Underdog updated their user interface. At the same time, StreamYard has updated their user interface. So a lot of changes coming down the pipeline this summer, but it's all good stuff. Good vibes. We're having fun here. We got P-Punch in the 1 spot. What up, brother? Hope you're doing well. And I'm in the 5 spot. Not a bad place to be. It's a 20-second puppy. We're going to be ripping them tonight. So let's get right into it. And let me see what I can do. Let's turn on some jams. Can we cook up, either a CD or a Barkley team from the 5 spot. And I'm always adjusting the ranks. I've been adjusting the ranks pretty much every day since Underdog enabled the ability to update ranks from your phone in the app. Let's do a Barkley team. I'm cool with it. Before that, it was just a little bit more tedious to download and then re-upload ranks. Or you know, in the desktop version, you can do it by like moving players around. That was always kind of an option. It just wasn't like, it wasn't that convenient. What's going on tonight? What up, DWB Mania? How we doing, brother? Appreciate the kind words. Henderson's a steal. I think so too. I mean, the dude was electric for Ohio State. Among all of the talent that they had over the years, the only knock on Henderson was staying healthy. You know, the best ability is availability, but I honestly think he can be a huge part in an engine for that Patriots offense. So let's see if they can take a step forward. The Patriots, Henderson can be a big part of it. Appreciate the kind words, like I said. Jacoby, yo, what's up, Jacoby? How you doing, brother? Hope your shows have been going good lately. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for being here. Thanks for catching me live. Get in this circle. Okay. We got to pause the music for a second because Anthony knows what's up. Let me figure out where this media is. There it is. Boom. Boom. A bit of this. Yep. The circle of trust. If you're new here, come on in. Get in on the circle. Get in the circle of trust. You're going to want to be a part of it. We're drafting best ball teams all summer long. A ton of sharp people here in the community. So subscribe to the Fantasy Football Garage. Follow me on Twitter if you've got a Twitter, at FFB Garage. You'll know when I'm going live. Come draft with me. Say what up. Don't be on the outside of the circle. Come get in here and let's draft some teams. Perfect. And we're back on the clock. Perfect timing. Look at that. Saquon Barkley, Ladd McConkey. All about it. I'll take some Ladd. I've been saying this for a while. So Ladd missed a game, right? He only played 16 games. If you take that game he played against the Texans in the playoffs, which actually to me counts a lot more than those week 18 games. Like you saw Drake London go off in week 18 against, you know, players who had nothing to play for. Backups. So you see Ladd McConkey actually go off against the Texans in round 1 of the wild card in the AFC and puts up some huge numbers, right? You factor that in to Ladd McConkey's as his 17th game, his per game scoring goes up by 1.5. So big things on the horizon for Ladd McConkey. I think they're going to continue to use him. Okay, let's look at this. So pick 29. I am thinking Chase Brown is a good pick here. Saquon and Chase Brown. Otherwise, don't want to go Adams. Don't want to go Allen. I'll take Chase Brown. I'm cool with that. It's kind of a fun start. Saquon Barkley, Chase Brown, Ladd McConkey. I don't know who's going to be available in the 4th round. Hopefully, you know, fingers crossed, get some Kittle or maybe one of the elite QBs that's still around. Get in the circle. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you hit like on your way in. Thanks for being here. Hope you guys are having a great Thursday night. And how many puppies have you drafted? I lost count. This is my 7th, 8th puppy, something like that. How many have you drafted? How many are you planning on drafting? It does seem like it's going to fill and close before the end of the month, I guess. Haven't really done the math on it yet, but yo, what up, P-Punch? Ready to draft some puppies. Love to hear it. Hope you're doing great, my man. Hope you're having a nice Thursday night. Like I said, I've got a long weekend ahead. I've got some vacation plans. I'm going out to California tomorrow for a family reunion. Gonna hit the beach. Gonna be catching up. So we got a flight out tomorrow. Be back Monday night. And we'll see. I might put out some video content, some videos over the weekend, but no promises. I thought I might do that the last time I went out of town for 4th of July and didn't really get around to it. But that's how it goes when you're around family. You're always busier than you think. But if I have some downtime, I've got some ideas for content. So I was thinking about like putting out some videos from some of my previous streams that I've already done, whether it's just like player takes from some of the guests that I've had, or maybe it could be some of my player takes or some of my favorite draft moments, little things like that. But could put something together, maybe even a short. Maybe like a short would be like something to do. I haven't done a short in years on YouTube, and I've been thinking about it lately. And whether it's like a player take or just one of my guests' player takes that I've had on the stream, I think that could be like a really fun thing to re-share. And also to keep like, that could be a fun thing to kind of keep a library of, because maybe you didn't catch the entire stream. Maybe you didn't catch, one of these really, really good insights from a guest that I've had on. And so I can reshare that. And it could be really fun to have player takes from different people that I've streamed with for, dozens of different players. Back on the clock here, the George Kittle dream died. The elite QB dream is also gone. Honestly thinking Hampton. I'm thinking Hampton and then take whatever receiver comes back around. So this is like a super strong, ultra high T running back start for me. Saquon, Lad McConkey, wide receiver anchor, Chase Brown, Omarion Hampton at pick 44. All about it. To me, it's because like the wide receivers that were available here, kind of a flat tier. So between DK Metcalf and what I think I can get at pick 53, I'm pretty comfortable with as my wide receiver 2. So I decided to go Hampton, where I think he's clearly a tier above even guys like Ken Walker and Kamara, who I do like. Chuba Hubbard, I like him too, just fine, although I don't draft him a whole lot. But to me, it seemed like the more clear tier break was at running back there. Even though I've already got 2 elite running backs, I'm going to be starting Hampton in the flex, every week that I can. But it's a team stack with the Chargers, and I think I can still make up some, like the receivers that you can get access to at pick 53, at pick 68, at pick 77. Primo spots. I missed out on the elite QBs and elite tight ends, so I'm going to take all these skill position players, see what falls to me, and see how we can build this team out. So like I said, I would have taken Pickens over Hampton if I was going to take a receiver. He came back around to me. So I get the pick that I originally wanted in the 4th round in the 5th at pick 53. George Pickens, I'm so high on Pickens. He's my most drafted wide receiver this year. How can you not be in on George Pickens? He's paired up with Dak Prescott. It's going to be one of the highest volume passing offenses in 2025, potentially. You'd have to think, right? So let's get after it. Appreciate you being here. Peanut Punch. Yeah, I think Henderson will be good for best ball, especially. Maybe he doesn't get a whole lot of touches early on and more of the, like 10 to 14 range of total touches early on. But I bet you, and I hope, and I'm betting that by the money weeks, by weeks 15, 16, and 17, he can get to the 15 to 18 per game on average touch range. Maybe even higher. If he can get like 20 touches a game, that'd be insanely good at the end of the season. Even if the Patriots aren't the best team, Yeah, I wonder. We'll have to see for Trey Harris. Obviously, he has to like pay off. We have to see it first. We've seen it from Ladd. Ladd had a pretty insanely good rookie season, and he really came on strong in the second half. So I think Ladd's definitely got a lot. I've drafted a good amount of Trey Harris, but we'll have to see something from him. Trey Harris, a little bit of an older prospect coming out, but did have some really good numbers in college at Ole Miss. I'm pretty sure he led all FBS receivers in like yards per route run last season. Maybe it was yards route run per target, but whatever it was, he was up there. Okay, pick 68. ADP would have me take Judy or Debo. Harvey's still there. I think I'll go Judy. Kind of right at ADP. Harvey fell a little bit. Most times I would take him, but with the running backs that I have, I don't need Harvey on this team. I need to get some wide receivers who can start. I think Jerry Jeudy is a little bit undervalued as well. He gets a ton of first read targets in his offense. He's definitely the alpha, the top receiver. So Harvey might be falling due to the recent news that J.K. Dobbins is unofficially kind of like the starter, but I still am comfortable taking Harvey. For instance, if like Hampton was gone, the pick before I took him at 44, and I ended up getting two receivers, in rounds 4 and 5, I definitely would have capitalized on going Harvey there at 68. Just the fact that I want to keep building out my wide receiver room. Couldn't really take advantage of his falling ADP, but again, these are puppies. ADPs don't matter as much. They're a little bit. It's kind of like the Wild West. So here's an interesting decision: do I go Golden or Reed? I take a lot of both. I think I'm going to go ahead and get Golden on this one. I like Judkins a whole lot too. Grab some Matthew Golden. I mean, Golden and Pickens are my two most drafted receivers, so not surprising. But from this range in the board, it just kind of lines up that way nicely. And I feel like getting that fourth receiver here versus the fourth running back made a little bit of sense. Obviously, I'm also really in on Quinshon Judkins, so I have him ranked pretty aggressively. Toss up there. Toss up. Kind of the same argument I made for not taking Harvey. I don't take Quinshon there for the same reason. I take Matthew Golden, and Golden gives me another out for a QB to stack too, so I can get Jordan Love later. I'm looking at Dak on this team and Justin Herbert for my mid-round quarterbacks. I missed out on the elite QBs. I'm going to want to go with some more receivers that I can stack up in the QB pocket. So Dak, Love, Herbert all go within about 10 picks of each other. Dak obviously going first, further up the board. But I might be able to get 2 out of those 3 where I'm sitting. So now I'm in a good spot to pivot back to either running back or tight end. And I feel really confident in the 4 receivers I've been able to take. So through my first 7 picks, I got Saquon Barkley, Chase Brown, Omarion Hampton, really strong running back room. Receivers aren't too bad either. Ladd McConkey, George Pickens, Jerry Jeudy, and Matthew Golden. Let's go. Yeah, I've been seeing the rumors. We've been talking about that. It's definitely a hot topic right now. I think we'll just see what happens with that. But I've been really in on Hampton in the 4th round. I think Hampton's going to go in the 3rd round pretty soon. I think Hampton is going to be the guy that goes ahead of James Cook more often and is in the conversation for the 3-4 turn. Is where Hampton probably should be going. I mean, I said I wanted to pivot to tight end, but it's like who's even available? I have to reach up for Kelsey or Andrews or Njoku. I can get Higgins here. I dropped a ton of Higgins. I might get some more running back wise. I don't mind Jalen Warren. He might be there with my next pick. I don't feel like I'm going to get to Holmes. So I'll take Jaden Higgins there. Some more rookie upside to go in this room where I just put Matthew Golden, Jaden Higgins, and then CJ Stroud, another quarterback potential out for me to stack with later on. Yo, what up, Billy? Yes, 100%. I totally agree. I've been on the same wavelength. Drafting Hampton, he's one of my top drafted running backs in the big board. I think I had like 18% Hampton, right around there. And then I was drafting him a decent amount, but not as much as I could have been earlier on. I don't know why that was, but Hampton, I think, like I said, could be going in the late 30s pretty soon. Could even get close to Breece Hall, I think, honestly. So I'm going to be drafting a ton of them in round 4, and around pick 45, 44 is a smash. Even without the Najee injury. Yeah, I think so too. I like Harvey a lot. It Fields is there, but I don't necessarily have to get Fields yet. We go Andrews. I'm going to go ETN. I want to get a little bit more ETN. I'm going to hit the refresh 2 on the best ball overlay. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of Saquon teams as it is, but when I do take Saquon, apparently I always take him with Golden and Love, typically Devontae Adams. So this is another team where I do have Golden, and I'm looking to get Love. Kind of funny how that works out. Might have to get a little bit different there. Maybe start taking Reed or Downs a little bit more intentionally when I do draft Saquon. But I don't have a whole lot of Saquon teams, so it's not like a huge issue yet. But just, yeah, 83% with Golden, that seems kind of absurd. Jacoby says, where do you think Travis Hunter is? Yes, for Travis Hunter, I think he might still fall a little bit more. You got to pay up for these rookie wide receivers a lot of the time. So I'm super in on him as a prospect. I think he's got some of the best hands coming into the NFL we've seen since like the likes of Odell Beckham Jr. He's obviously highly decorated, generational talent, and not in just kind of the conventional way of calling every top prospect in a draft class a generational talent. But I think Travis Hunter is different. I'm not too worried about his snaps. I think he's a guy that you can't compare to anyone else. But as far as the fact that he's playing with Brian Thomas Jr. and then Trevor Lawrence, who we haven't seen, live up to his expectations as a passer in terms of touchdowns and yardage, really. Maybe with Liam Coney takes a step forward and that offense is humming and doing a little better. So I have high faith in the coaching's ability to kind of utilize these guys well. Travis Hunter, I think the range he should be going in, we were paying a lot for him in round 4. Round 5 seems good. Probably round 6, he is a great value. But there's other players in round 6 who are also steals right now. Jordan Addison, Chris Olave, maybe even Juwan Jennings, I would argue, Jerry Jeudy, players that could be more expensive. So it's tough. There's a lot of receivers in that range. But I think Travis Hunter is fairly priced. He's just kind of sliding right now. But I don't want to be totally out on him. I just don't know if this, like year 1 Travis Hunter, is the guy you have to have on every team. But I don't want to be like out. I don't want to miss out either. So I get Dak here. Dak to go with George Pickens seems like a good idea. I'm going to go ahead and fire off on that. And maybe Njoku comes back around. Otherwise, the other QBs I'll be looking at, right, is Justin Herbert, of course, Jordan Love. Scadaboo's there. Big in on Scadaboo. He goes, of course. No, it's typical. Christian Kirk, I like a good amount. I think he's kind of a value where he's going, especially if he holds off Jalen Knoll in year one. Last year, we were taking Christian Kirk in the 4th round. This year, we're taking him in the 12th round. So things change. Man, Herbert goes to P-Punch there, who grabs Njoku, too. So P-Punch gets Trey Harris combo with Justin Herbert. I think I'll go Love here. Let me look at my team. So I'm pretty good on running backs, right? With those 4. I'll go for Love. I could go Kirk. I'm going to go Love. Also kind of a bummer that Tucker Kraft went pick 122. But what I can still do is, let's say Stroud comes back around with my next pick. He could be kind of a fun option too to pair up with Higgins. I've got to bring back with McConkey and Hampton. Would have been nice to get Herbert on my on this team where I've already got Amari Hampton and Loud McConkey, but not necessary. I was able to land Dak with George Pickens. Also feels like a really good way to play it. And then Love with Golden, solid. So we're moving right along into round 12, coming up soon. Yeah, Jacoby, what do you think about Travis Hunter? Are you like way in, or are you fading him a little bit? Yeah. Yo, what up, Pooh Hames? How you doing, brother? What's going on? Pooh Hames, I'm interested to go back and watch your stream you did today with the draft that you did. The bananas draft. What do we call that? The Spoiled Banana Society draft. I'm interested to check out your team. I saw your team on Twitter. I'm interested to go back and watch. I didn't get to tune in earlier as much, and see what your draft was like, because I'm really curious about that. Looks fun. Okay, CJ Stroud goes. So the QB dream right now is not alive as much. I do need a tight end, so I'll probably go Ferguson here. It'd be hard to pass up on Tootin, but I already took ETN, so I've kind of boxed myself in there. I think I'll go Ferguson, considering I really do need a tight end here, and then I'll see what comes back around in terms of wide receivers. Maybe some running backs. QB-wise, I guess I'm good for now. I'll wait on QB. I don't really have any obvious stacking partners, but I could like back stack something on the way out. So I'm glad I took Dak and Love, the way this board's kind of falling with the QBs for me. Who just went? Ooh, Jaden Blue goes. I would have liked Blue. Didn't need him on this team. Surprised that Rachaad White and Jaden Blue are both going ahead of Tootin. I did take ETN, so it's not the best team to take Tootin on. And there he goes. Yeah, P-Punch gets Rachaad White and Tootin. Nice little value there. 145 for Tootin's great. It is a puppy, so you do see some wild ADP things happen. Not totally surprised. Yo, what up, Tim? Yeah, I'm big in on Devontae Adams. With my Devontae Adams, it must be at 14, 15%. Adams, I'm at, no, 18% Adams. Maybe I'm thinking in my head just my best ball mania exposures. Yeah, I'm going to go Dobbs here. Remember the double stack Packers play through Love with Golden and Dobbs. I've also got a double stack with Ferguson, Pickens, the bring back, and Higgins. Or no, well, not the bring back and Higgins. I have Higgins as a bring back for my Lad McConkey and Omari and Hampton. Getting ahead of myself. But yeah, Tim, I'm super in on Devontae Adams. Drafting a ton of him too. He could have been a nice fit for this team if I didn't take Chase Brown. What up, Meg? How you doing? Hope the sibling showdown stream went well earlier. I'll have to tune back in and see what y'all got into with these puppies. Always good to see you. Hope you're having a great Thursday night. Tim, I would say Stafford has value where he goes as a QB3, and he's easy to stack with Adams or even Puka. And there's the option of kind of back stack him too. You could line him up with one of his running backs or the tight end. The rookie tight end, Ferguson's kind of my preferred way to play it. And then, Tutu Atwell's not the worst pick either. But you're right. Stafford hasn't really had a lot of ceiling games recently. This could be his year. We could see, with the weapons he has, with Devontae Adams coming to town, this could be a year for Stafford to get some 3-4 touchdown games kind of back in his repertoire. It's been Kyron Williams' season for the last 2 seasons. It's been a lot of goal line touches for him, not a whole lot of passing in the red zone, or I guess not converting to a ton of touchdowns for Stafford. Even when Stafford has his big games, he's not really spiking in a way that the elite QBs are right anymore. So nowhere near the kind of output even Burrow's getting to. But maybe he's got a pretty good cast now. Geno Smith is there. I think the pick for me is Geno Smith, and then I'll figure out how to back stack him. And there's a few options that are interesting. He does play Houston and Philadelphia in the playoffs. I think the value is just too hard to pass up to get Geno Smith here as my third QB. Feels really good. And I'll figure out ways to play off of that to get some Raiders on this squad. My next pick, I'm pretty good at running back, so I'm not going to look there. But I could come back to receiver if there's nothing better to do. I kind of need a tight end. And I'm hoping, a lot of these teams between my next pick also need a tight end. I'm hoping someone comes back around that I still like. Not crazy about Jonnu. Seems like his ADP is settling around 150. Yeah, I'd rather someone else gets Johnny than me, honestly. I'm more on like Ertz and Gesicki. The only problem with Gesicki is he has the same buy as Ferguson. And Ertz could be a nice bring back for me if I can land him. If not, I'll probably look to go for... Okay, well, he comes back around. I'm going to go Ertz here. Lock up my second tight end. Also a bring back for my Dallas in week 17. Could be good. I've done this before. I've been taking some late Geno as an unstacked QB and then stacking him in the last 3 rounds. It's possible. There's a nice target in round 16. And then in round 18, there's 2 targets to go after that I think could fit this team if I just kind of hold steady. So far, through my first 15 picks, 3-4, 6-2 build with Dak, Jordan Love, Geno Smith. The running backs are Saquon Barkley, Chase Brown, Omari and Hampton, and Travis Etienne. Feels really strong. Could stop at 4, honestly. Could stop at those 4 and be good. Let's see how the build kind of evolves over my last 3 picks. Lad McConkey, hey, he plays Dallas in week 16, so not a bad matchup there. Got Pickens to go with my Dak. Jerry Jeudy, I think, is a decent undervalued pick. Matthew Golden stacked up, Dobbs stacked up with Love, Higgins on this team. So he's going to be playing against the Chargers in week 17 and the Raiders in week 16. that kind of fits in nicely. I've got Jake Ferguson and Zach Ertz for the tight ends. I like the squad. It's coming along. Some players I like. It's pretty strong at every position. The quarterbacks seem fine. The tight ends seem fine. Running back and receiver feels pretty strong. Could be slightly stronger at receiver, but I've got a lot of rookie upside in Higgins and Golden. And then of course I'm banking on Pickens having like a complete career year. Yep, I would agree. Who Hames? Oh, P-Punch. No, you're good. We pivoted off that. I went with the Love and the Dak route, which I do a ton of. I have so many teams with Cowboys and or Packers stacks with the pass catchers and the QBs. Two of my most drafted teams. So on this next draft after this one, we'll look to do something a little bit different if the board falls that way, but I always just kind of let it come to me and see what I can get into. But I've noticed, I've been looking at my exposures. I do take a ton of Cowboys and a ton of Packers. I like them both. I like both those passing offenses to rebound from last year. Obviously, Dak was injured. Love was injured too. So we'll see how that plays out. Thornton was a target a target for me in round 16. He could have been nice to go with Geno. 3-4-6-2. Keenan Allen might be a pick on this one. I just don't know where he's going to land yet. He's the only wild card, but I think he's a decent pick as long as he's playing right. I think that's the way I'm going to go. As long as Keenan Allen's going to play this season and not retire, he's a really good pick as my 7th receiver. I'm trying to think what this team needs. I guess I'm good at receiver. Might look here at tight end again. I mean, if y'all are going to let me take Jarquez Hunter on this team, I pick 197. How am I going to resist that? I do it every time, though. I'm trying to get a little different. He's available. Marshawn Lloyd's available. I might sprinkle him in. Let me take some Marshawn Lloyd. It's been a while. I haven't done that in a long time. I think you can fit this one fine. Just more Packers stack. I honestly kind of prefer Emmanuel Wilson. Obviously, I take a bunch of Jarquez Hunter. And I want to take some more Dylan Sampson, too. If either one of those running backs are still there with my next pick, I'd really consider taking them. Otherwise, I take a good amount of Juwan Johnson. Theo Johnson could be nice. Trey Tucker should be there. Might take some Tucker, or even no. Someone did draft. Did someone draft Mostert? Look at the board. Mostert was an option I was going to consider too, to go with Geno. Yeah, wow, I didn't even notice. Mostert went pick 190. He goes undrafted a good amount. I think on Geno teams, on teams where you're like trying to build around the Raiders, and you don't have Genty or Bowers, especially if you're doing like late stacks like this, I think it can make some sense to get Raheem Mostert. He should play some kind of role on that team. I don't think he's a complete zero. I think he actually gets some usage. There's no way Jinchi is going to play 90% of snaps and touches. Oh, man. What does Trey Tucker give me versus the upside of one of these guys? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'll let it hit. Trey Tucker. I can't believe Dylan Sampson and Darqueze Hunter are going undrafted in this one, but it's a puppy. Get a little bit different. Get me off of my click of taking Darqueze Hunter every single time. Only went with the 2 tight ends, so pretty weak on tight end. Gotta hope that Jake Ferguson in the Dallas offense is really strong. I do get my stack with Trey Tucker, so it's just kind of a fun piece to connect with Gino and something different on this receiver room. I didn't really expect to go 8 receivers. I guess it makes sense, and I felt good enough about the 5 running backs where I didn't have to take one of Sampson or Hunter, but those guys would be nice on pretty much any team. I went Lloyd instead, so that's the pivot that I made. I took Lloyd because Dante Thornton was already gone. Trey Tucker is probably playing more snaps than Dante Thornton anyway at this rate. Probably. Nice. Yo, what up, Steve? How you doing? Hope you had a good show earlier. Drafting puppies as always. Peace, Huhames. Catch you later, man. Yo, what up, Chris B? The kind words, as always. Appreciate you, Chris, for joining tonight. Too nice. My man is too nice. Appreciate that, my man. Make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Come jump in here, draft with us. Say what up in the chat. Let's go. Let's get right back into another puppy. This guy. Too nice. Crispy. One of the OGs in the chat. Krios, what's up? I think so too. I kind of thought, yeah, not, you know, you guys convinced me, right? I wasn't drafting a whole lot of Keenan Allen, and then I had to think about it. Why not? Well, he could retire. But as soon as he signs somewhere, and we hope he does, he'll go in the 10th, 11th, 12th round. We were drafting Keenan Allen in the 4th round last year. So could help out. I'm not super thin at receiver. I do have some nice, let's say, depth. And even if Keenan Allen does retire, I ended up going Trey Tucker instead of the 3rd tight end or even a 6th running back. I almost stopped at 4 running backs. I could have stopped at 4 running backs and then grabbed a 3rd tight end. Might have been a good way to build this one too. Back to the lobby. Let's get in another one. I'm going to put it in the chat when I join it. 22nd puppy. It's going to be my 7th actually. So if you see it in the chat, that's when I've entered. Get ready. You see it there. I'm doing it here. Waiting on 5. So come get in here. Ooh, yes. I agree, Chris. I think Keenan Allen to the Jets would be good for the Jets. I'd only worry a little bit if it's a good spot for Keenan Allen, solely based off the fact that it's a lower volume passing attack typically when Fields is at the helm. So is there enough room between Garrett Wilson and the targets he's going to get for Keenan Allen to also eat. I mean, Keenan Allen, he's been pretty efficient, but he's definitely like a volume-based guy. I've been asking some of the guests and some people, you know, their preferred or spots they think that, you know, Keenan Allen could or should land. I've heard Titans, I've heard Cardinals, I've heard Steelers. People have said, what else? Those are some of the top ones. It's highly unlikely he goes back to the Chargers at this rate, I guess. But also, like, why not? Maybe. Where do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. Where do you think, if anywhere, Keenan Allen goes? Is he going to retire? Is he going to play? And then where? I guess I lean. I don't know. Hard to say. I guess I have a slight lean to thinking he might go play for, like, the Steelers with Aaron Rodgers. I just don't know if that's the real matchup. Okay, let's go Bijan this time. So I'll get different here. I took Saquon in the last draft. I'm going to go Bijan with this one from the 4 spot. Got Steven here at the 10. P-Punch at the 12. Let's go. Let me know if you're in here if I didn't notice your Underdog username. What up, Disbanded? How you doing tonight? Hope you're having a great Thursday, man. Yeah, I could have done it, Kriya. I could have done it. I know that Trey Tucker plays a ton of snaps. I think he was top 10 in the league for snaps played at in the wide receiver position last season. And routes run, I'm not sure where that lands either, but he's out there running a bunch, being out there a bunch. Yeah, pretty not great. More of a best ball play for sure. You know what I mean? So I don't have to worry about him being good. I want him to hit the lineup once, maybe twice when it counts. Could pay off in week 17 kind of thing. Not going to be highly owned. But yeah, I thought about it. Could have taken Hunter, could have taken Samson, could have taken a third tight end like Theo Johnson. Maybe should have done it. Let's see. Jonathan Taylor goes pick 13. P-Punch bringing him up for the week 17. Duval. Jacksonville Jaguars with new coach Liam Cohen going up against the Indianapolis Colts. I'll take Brock Bowers at 21. I think Brock Bowers is a smash pick at 21. Tyreek Hill goes 20. So I'll take Brock Bowers at 21. See what I can get into at pick 28. I've got a player in mind who I'm like targeting for sure. All right, I think I'm going to land this player. One of my most drafted wide receivers, it is Devontae Adams. I think that's the best fit here. Let's take a quick look. I want, Adams to bring back there, and then otherwise, I think we're good. Let's take Devontae Adams. Of course, a fun pick. In week 17, you have the Los Angeles Rams traveling to Atlanta, Georgia, to play in the Mercedes-Benz Dome Stadium. on Monday Night Football in Week 17. So that's one of the games that I'm like most targeting for Week 17 is that Monday night game. It's the last game of the week. So it's going to be nice if you're sitting in a position in any one of these tournaments, like this puppy, whatever it is. If you're sitting in the finals and you're in a nice spot, maybe you're in the top 100, top 50, top 20, and you still have players remaining in this game, man, that would feel good. Plus, it'd be a really fun game to go to. So I've said that a bunch, but I'd be buying a plane ticket Monday morning to go to that game if I had Devontae Adams playing against Bijan Robinson, and I'm, sitting here in the puppy finals out of the last 375 people out of 225,000, and maybe I'm sitting in like maybe even like top 30 with players remaining, I might go to that game. It'd be fun. Imagine getting a top 10 in the puppy. Easily would pay for the whole trip, plus some of your other entries into tournaments, maybe some of your 2026 best ball teams. And I think it's going to be a good game, like a shootout game anyways. We're going to see the Rams and the Falcons probably playing for wild card spots to get into the playoffs. I think the Falcons are going to be a contender in the playoffs. I think the Rams are going to be one too. They're definitely trying to position themselves that way. So both of those teams are going to be playing for something in Week 17. It could be a shootout. It could be the game of the week. What do you guys think? Ooh, Chiefs could use Keenan Allen. I haven't heard that one, but that's a good take. I like that one. If they have like an embarrassment of riches at wide receiver, you'd have Rashee Rice, of course, and then Keenan Allen, and then Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy. That'd be a nice combo for Mahomes. Travis Kelce, goes without saying. Bijan, Adams, Bowers. Hurts or Hampton. It's either Hurts or Hampton. Let me get my Hurts exposure up, and let me get another elite QB. I mean, Hurts is a steal in the 4th round. The 2 best picks in the 4th round, the 3 best picks in the 4th round, it's got to be Jalen Hurts. It's got to be George Kittle, and it's got to be Amari and Hampton. Probably my 4th favorite pick, if he's there, is T-Mac. Of course, he usually goes at the 3-4 turn. I think that's a fair price. It's expensive, but he's a great pick there. But I think Hurts is like very undervalued. Hampton's a little undervalued where he's going. Kittle, P-Punch pulls him up at 37, but he's generally been going in like 40 to 45 range, and even cheaper before that. I think he's a good pick. I don't get Devonta Smith to come back around. That's okay. Pretty sure I'm going to go with Zay Flowers here. So, going back to Jacoby's question, I'll take Zay Flowers. I'll take Calvin Ridley ahead of Travis Hunter. So I'm slightly behind on my ranking. I have him kind of ranked right at ADP, but there's just other players that I prefer that sometimes go after Travis Hunter that I'll take ahead of him, like Zay Flowers, Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley matched up with Cam Ward could just be like a match made in heaven, like an insanely good combo for him. A really big quarterback upgrade, and then Ridley's been, good enough. Maybe he's getting up there, in his career, but I think he's got at least one good year left, if not If not, like who knows when that could come, the age cliff. But I think Ridley's still a good pick and a great matchup with Ward. Zay Flowers, year three breakout incoming could just be insanely good. Maybe should be going. I mean, he's matched up with Lamar Jackson. That's all you need to know. If they can continue to build, and Zay Flowers can continue to produce, really good pick in best ball, I think. We saw Rashad Bateman get a lot of the touchdowns. We saw Mark Andrews get a lot of those touchdowns last season. Derrick Henry got a bunch of them. Maybe it starts to swing back into Zay Flowers' favor. Zay Flowers did have a lot of touchdowns in college, so like it's not like he's not capable of scoring more touchdowns. My next pick's coming up, pick 69, and then pick 76. Let me see what I can do here. Quinshawn will be a pretty nice pick. Jerry Jeudy again. Can't do anything with Burrow. Debo's not bad. I like, obviously, Matthew Golden and Jaden Reed. I'm going to go ahead and get Quinshawn Judkins, and then I'll see what comes back around on these receivers. Last draft, I took Jerry Jeudy over Quinshawn. Jerry Jeudy goes at pick 70. Like I said, I think Jerry Jeudy's still a really good pick. On this team with Bijan Quinshawn feels like a good combo. I think Judkins can get a lot of touches in his rookie season. I think they'll use him a ton. It's gonna be hard not to feed him the ball. ADP wise, Pearsall is still there. He's kind of going in this range. I'm gonna have my selection of either Golden or Reed. I'll mix it up this time and prefer Reed, and then take Golden if Reed's gone. Or I could pivot to Pearsall, who I don't take a whole lot. ADP would, in this range of guys. I don't draft Shakir too often, so I'm not going to go there, even though I have the Week 17 matchup. I'm not going to force it. I will go Jaden Reed on this one. I think as a wide receiver 3 in best ball, he's a good option. I like to take him and Matthew Golden, so I'll mix it up here. And we're moving right along through the 7th round. The Titans need Keenan. I think so too, Kriop. Like that could be a good spot. They drafted 2 rookie receivers and they landed Restrepo. So they've got some rookie depth. Manor, DK, and Restrepo. Their veteran presence is Ridley, and they bring in Tyler Lockett, who didn't have a great year last year, pretty much fell off completely. Keenan Allen would be a huge upgrade over Tyler Lockett, in my opinion. So I think the Titans are one of the top options in my mind, and it would make a lot of sense to try to give Cam Ward another veteran target to go along in that offense, besides just leaning on the 3 rookies. Let's see. I've got picks 93 and 100 coming up. I've started out this draft a 1-2-3-1 build. I've got Hurts and Bowers, so elite QB and elite tight end. Running backs Bijan and Judkins. Wide receivers Adams, Flowers, Reed. So a lot of correlation going on here. Week 17 between Bijan and Adams, and then I got Flowers and Reed. Bowers playing Philly in week 15. me see. Trying to figure out like what piece I need next. It would be nice to get like a rookie receiver. I've got 2 in mind. Like Buka goes. He was my top option. I take a bunch of Buka, one of my more drafted players. But he's off the board. Higgins, once again. I don't mind Brian Robinson here. I think I'm going to go Higgins, though. And then see which running back comes back around. Yeah, I drafted a good amount of Jaden Higgins, but I think he's kind of a shoo-in to play in all of the 3 wide receiver sets and potentially push Christian Kirk for the 2 wide sets. And I think the Texans just pass it more in 2025 than they did in 2024. Hopefully the offensive line has some new chemistry with the additions and subtractions they've had that gives CJ Stroud a little bit more time to throw it downfield and make some more accurate passes. I think he was just so under pressure last season that it was hard to do anything really. I'm gonna go Jalen Warren here. Or should I go Keon Coleman? I think I'm going to go Warren. Warren seems like a good pick. Could be a good candidate to catch a decent amount of checkdowns from Aaron Rodgers, as well as, you know, it's a decent price for him, round 9. I've come around to that idea. Monday night on BINDLES channel, we had the Ballsy show. We had Sacrilegious from Leg Up on. And right before he signed off, after we finished our Best Ball Mania draft, which was a really fun draft. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Make sure you're subscribed to BINDLES channel. Link in the description to his channel. And then also, earlier today, I retweeted out the link to the Ballsy show that we did. Really, really solid Best Ball Mania team. Fun and a lot of great ideas, a lot of good strategies. We used the Leg Up tool, the Sidekick. We ran the Sims. And we learned from Sack, you know, what are his takeaways from running the Sims, drafting off of the Leg Up tool, and what he's kind of learned, how it's changed him as a drafter. He does a lot of volume. He does, 2,000, 3,000 drafts. It's kind of like his annual amount that he does. So he's got a lot of insights and different types of strategies to accomplish building teams that can finish in that top 1%, that 99.9 percentile outcome. And one of the things, right before he signed off, I asked him about Jalen Warren. I drafted 20% Jalen Warren last season, kind of burned me a little bit, but he kind of, Sack was able to give a lot of good reasoning why to take Jalen Warren. Being the veteran presence in that offense, one of the pass catching backs, and paired up with Rodgers, but just even being a good bet on his own and being injured last season, so not paying off last season because of the injury. Going into this season healthy, he had the hamstring last season. There's some convincing argument for why he's a better pick this year than he was last year. I'm putting him back in. So I want to go Bateman here. Zay Flowers and Bateman. I'm not sure. I could do Najee. I think Bateman. I was trying to think quarterback-wise. Not 100% sure what I'd want to do there. I kind of want a running back. I didn't want to go Najee. I might go Dobbins or Tootin. And then maybe I just push QB. I could take Love. If I don't take Love, I'm looking for Stroud later. And obviously Geno's an option. I could just do like a 2 QB build. Probably smart to do that, like more of a 2 QB build and get Geno later. I get Tootin here would be nice. Okay, that's what I'll do. I kind of had some faith that I want to go Kraft. No, I don't think Love's going to be. I'm going to go Tootin on this one. I don't think Love's going to be there for my next pick, but if he is, it'd be great. Yeah, maybe I should on Kraft there. Kraft immediately goes. I've got Bowers, so I don't need another tight end right now. The receivers, kind of funny. I don't think I've built a team without Lamar Jackson that had both Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman on it before. So it's kind of fun, just different. Maybe even makes a stronger case for why I should have taken Love there. I've seen Love fall before. Maybe he'll come back around. Getting Tootin on this team seems decent. Kind of a bad Week 16 matchup against Denver, though. But, I got Bijan and Jalen Warren, Quinshon Judkins, and Basham Tootin for my running back room. Also, I have an obvious tight end target that I'm still looking to take. That I'd be lucky if he comes back around to pick 41. We'll just kind of cross our fingers. So CJ Stroud goes. He was a potential option for me. So the Golden Drafter is here at pick 81. He has Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence to go with his Travis Hunter. Okay. Jared Goff goes pick 130. You see kind of different things in these puppies. The ADPs are not as consistent. Yeah, that's a great take, Chris. That's kind of where I land with that. Is that Keenan Allen would be really good with Cam Ward. So I guess that's probably my top option. Man, he still takes Jordan Love, even though he had Trevor Lawrence and Fields. Bummer. I think Love would have been nice for my team, but that's not the way it goes. Let's see. If I don't get Goddard, well, I have the ability to get Goddard here, but if I don't go Goddard, what would I want? Javonte Williams, well past ADP. Let's push it even further. So I don't really have a lot of faith in him being a guy you have to have. In 2025, I'm higher on Blue, actually. I get Goddard, immediately goes Ferguson likely, so pretty smart to not to push Goddard. I think it made a lot of sense to take him where I did. If I don't get Javonte Williams or Blue, wow. So Blue goes ahead of Javonte Williams, which is typically what I would do anyways. Let's imagine none of these guys get Javonte Williams. Do I take him with my next pick? I could. Would kind of make sense. And otherwise, I'm looking at receiver. I don't love the options. Well, Dobbs would be fine. A little bit expensive for Besh. I don't draft a lot of Palmer. I don't think he's worth it. Tight end, I'm cool. So I'm going to go ahead and take Javonte Williams, which I don't take a bunch of. But I think it makes sense for this team, and getting him at pick 148, 22 spots past ADP, and Blues off the board doesn't hurt. Maybe he does get a decent amount of touches early season, and then Blue takes over later in the season. So Javonte Williams is more of a chaperone for Tootin. or even Judkins to some extent, if there is any concern that Ford would have a bigger role earlier in the season. Or Javonte just gets a lot of the low value touches and Blue gets some more high value touches, but maybe Javonte is still active enough, maybe getting 10 to 12 touches per game in the Cowboys offense. You just want a piece of that, and who knows? So that's a spot where I'll take Javonte. Around pick 148 to me makes sense. With Blue already gone and me needing to be a veteran running back that could balance out this squad. Makes sense. Wandale is the highest floor. Yeah, what up, Augustus? How you doing tonight? Hope you're having a great Thursday night, my friend. Wandale, like I said, Wandale too. Get the W-O-N because we've won. Wandale. I think he's got a high floor too. I'm backing on Wandale. Hadn't been drafting him a ton. You can see 1.5% drafted. What scared me away is when I see a player get 140 targets and doesn't cross 1,000 yards receiving, that's not a great thing. Obviously didn't play with the best QBs in 2024. But, I mean, how many excuses can we make? He does play a good amount of snaps. Maybe he has another 100-plus target season. Maybe the combo of Wilson and Dart is much better for him. Dang, Geno Smith going, that really hurts me. I could have... Man. Bummer. Do I have a way to play Darnold? Not super good. So I'll go Rodgers first. And then I'll figure it out later. I had Jalen Warren, so that's kind of a nice segue. Problem is, I don't need too much at QB when I've got Jalen Hurts, but I can't really get to Darnold in a good way. I haven't built out any Seahawks. And then Jones could be fine too, but he's more of a question mark on his ability to be the guaranteed starter. And I've been taking a ton of Jones, a decent amount. Wow, the team I have Tootin on, and then Bigsby's going about 10 picks past ADP. I think, Douglas just went. I'll go Pierce here. I don't need a tight end. Receivers, I'd probably take Pierce first. Yeah, that makes sense for me. I take an 18% Pierce. I draft a good amount of Pierce. I would have considered Douglas there. I want to sprinkle more of him in and not just take Pierce every time. Wandale was already gone. Could have considered Wandale too. Where did Wandale go? I was thinking about Wandale for sure. Especially, I mean, ideally how those two picks would have turned out for me, it would have been Geno Smith 165 and then Wandale 172. That would have been pretty ideal. Both the players go before my pick at 165, so I pivot to Aaron Rodgers and Alec Pierce. Potentially, I could still take Daniel Jones. Let's say he's there in round 18. I think I'd do it as a luxury pick. I'm pretty good at my two tight ends. I don't know that I need the third. Calvin Austin makes a ton of sense on this team. And just like that, Daniel Jones goes to P-Punch in the 16th round. So he's in on Daniel Jones. I don't think I want Shuck on this team, so I don't think I'm going to do that. And then no Flacco because even though I have, well, Hurts is buy not super early. It's around, it's week 9, so it's not like super early. Yeah, I'm gonna go Calvin Austin here. Calvin Austin in the 16th round. I kind of predicted it. Like I was saying before Aaron Rodgers landed there, I thought Calvin Austin was a good pick in the 18th round and like a decent pick in the 17th round. Now that since their Aaron Rodgers signing, I kind of thought he would continue to rise up. All of the Steelers pieces should. I don't think DK actually moved that much, and maybe it's kind of hard to get higher for where DK goes, but Calvin Austin going in around 16. Not a huge difference between 16, 17, and 18 as it is. So I'll get him there. Probably sticking with 2 QBs and maybe even 2 tight ends. So I'll look to get another running back. And then wide receiver wise, I could be good. I am going to get Jarquez this time. Which makes too much sense on this team where I've already got Devontae Adams. I want another Ram to go with my Atlanta versus the Los Angeles Rams game. And then I've got like the rookie running back trio of Hunter, Tootin, and Judkins. And then I've got the veterans with Williams, Warren, and Robinson. So 6 running backs, almost certainly done there. Which means for my 18th round pick, it could either be an 8th wide receiver, a 3rd tight end, I don't have any Saints. No Giants, not enough Browns outside of Quinshawn to get me there to take another QB anyways. So the wide receiver room, I've got Devontae Adams, Zay Flowers, Jaden Reed, Jaden Higgins. I've got a rookie with some upside. Bateman, Pierce, Calvin Austin. I don't really have any issues with bye weeks. Coker is still there. Thornton goes. I think Coker could be nice on this team. Otherwise, I don't know who I'd want. Yeah, I'll just go Coker with it. I think that's the way I want to play it. Maybe going 3 tight ends there would make some sense. I'll just play it through Bowers and Goddard. Feels plenty strong. It's more about like the option for the 3. Yeah, P-Punch. Super QB hungry room. But sometimes the puppies do that. Sometimes QBs go late. Sometimes they go early. Yep. Yeah, that's part of it, Chris B. Just kind of balancing it out, taking what it gives you, seeing what comes around. Not forcing it. Like I took 2 QBs and 2 tight ends here. Didn't force it. I would have liked, some of the other stacking options, like a Geno Smith to go with Bowers. Or if I could have potentially gotten, who else did I want? I really did try to push Jordan Love this time. So Love or Stroud coming back around to my next pick would have been nice. But overall, a very strong tight end room. Strong enough QB. You can't, when you have Jalen Hurts, it's not a weak room. Aaron Rodgers famously had 28 passing touchdowns last season, the exact same amount as Josh Allen, more than Patrick Mahomes, more than Justin Herbert, more than a bunch of guys. The running back room, it's got Bijan, so it can't be weak. Some decent depth, nice rookie upside, some veterans too. Good ADP value on Javonte Williams, over 20 picks ADP value. And then the wide receivers, Devontae Adams, Zay Flowers, Jaden Reed, Jaden Higgins. You could argue those top 4 aren't very elite, but maybe strong enough, maybe good enough. Some decently strong offenses. The Rams, the Ravens, the Packers, maybe the Texans can take another step forward from what they did last year. Alec Pierce is a spike week guy. He can hit the lineup. Calvin Austin for the stack. Jalen Coker, year 2 breakout. He was doing pretty decent down the stretch last year. So, fits this team nicely. I kind of like this one. This is a fun team. The correlation is not like insanely good, but it just feels strong everywhere. There's no like real weakness. It's I've got 8 receivers and they're not too bad. I've got really strong tight end, Jalen Hurts to cap it off, QB. I think it's fine. It's a fine way to play it. Only consideration would be like, do I just stop with the 7 receivers and grab that 3rd tight end just to give me more outcomes, more potential outs during the playoff weeks? But when you take Bowers in the second round, you're really banking on him being the guy you need. And I have Dallas Goedert stacked up with Hurts. That feels pretty good. So that doesn't hurt me either. Just having Hurts and Rodgers at QB, plenty. So fun way to play it. Yeah, for sure. That's a great way to say it, Chris. I mean, you're trying to like prioritize good players, and if they happen to line up in the Week 17 matchup where all the money is, or the Week 16, which helps you advance to the Week 17, that's just like icing on top. And then yes, definitely team stacks, because the benefit of team stacking is, for instance, and there's not a ton of team stacking on this one, particularly related to my QBs, right? I've got Austin and Warren to go with Rodgers. So at least 2 skill position players around Rodgers. But let's imagine the Steelers have this incredible season. They're like, they have like 3 or 4 losses. They're scoring a ton of points. They're averaging like 30 plus points per game. Rodgers should pay off and hit the lineup some weeks. You'd think Jalen Warren would. Maybe he could be a big part of that offense and what they're doing. Maybe even Calvin Austin gets a little bit of a bump too. So he's a nice value where he goes. So consolidating my bets, like reducing the number of things I have to get right for this team to win. 3 out of my 18 players is just a bet on the Steelers. So just a bet that the Steelers do well, better than expectation, then maybe Austin and Warren and Rodgers pay off, where I got all of them relatively cheap. Jalen Warren was the most expensive piece, and I still got him like after pick 100. It doesn't hurt that, I've got Quinshon Judkins that plays them in week 17 either. That's kind of fun. I did not land any Buffalo Bills on this team. That would have been a nice little way to continue that thread, but I'm just saying Jalen Hurts is an elite top scoring QB. So is Bowers for the tight end position, and then the receivers. This is enough to cover all of my weeks. I got spike guys. I've got team stacks with the Ravens, like Zay Flowers and Bateman on the same team. Even though I don't have Lamar Jackson, if Lamar Jackson has like a great year passing, I've got 2 of his pass catchers, so I'll benefit some. The bring back, the game stack for week 17 with those Ravens pieces is Jaden Reed, who in his own right is a good spike week guy, is good for best ball, and then a bunch of upside rookies in the running back spot. So it's kind of a fun team, fun squad. Yo, what up, Alex? Hope you're having a great Thursday night. How you doing, brother? Thanks for being here. Drafting some puppies. Another draft after this. That is going to be it for me tonight. I got to catch a flight in the morning, going out of town this weekend. So I am going to stop with those 2, get some rest. Just a quick stream tonight, but we ripped 2 puppies. The 20-second clocks help. Got through them pretty quick. And some nice teams too. And I'll be back in the streets drafting soon, though. But yeah, taking some time off this weekend. Yeah, that's true too, Chris. I mean, I like to stay on top of the ADPs and just kind of think about where players might be going in the future. I think Omarion Hampton's going to be a 3rd-round pick sooner than later. Then keep drafting him in the 4th while you can, especially if you like him already. Yeah. So I've got the Best Ball Overlay here is the tool that I use. Check it out, bestballoverlay.com. They also have some so like this is one of the premium features. You can look, you can track your, well, actually this is the free feature. This one is just tracking ADPs and rankings. So you can see over the last week, the risers, the fallers, the ADP movers. You can just go to bestballoverlay.com/dashboard and see this, where players are going, the trends. One of the premium features, besides the overlay that you're seeing on my screen while I'm drafting like this, the player combo tool, and the overlays here, my exposures and the matchups, you can also upload your portfolio. And so I think I uploaded my CSV as of 2 days ago, but you can see tournaments that I'm in, my top exposures, my player combinations, my playoff stacks. So my most stacked combo apparently is actually Houston in the Chargers, followed by Dallas, Washington, Atlanta versus LA, which I always talk about, Detroit, Minnesota. I also talk about them a lot. My roster builds, my most common across all tournaments is a 3-5-7-3, which is definitely true. I've been doing that a bunch. And then you can see things like, where you've been drafting players and your closing line value and your ADP value on them. So a lot of good intel, a lot of good ways to track your portfolio if you're drafting high volume of best ball teams. And then, of course, the overlay here, active while you're drafting for your player combos and all those things. Check it out, bestballoverlay.com. You can use code GARAGE for 25% off your premium subscription if you're a new user. I have links in my description to get to bestballoverlay.com and also the promo code. So check it out and message me. Let me know if you have any questions about it. It's super fun to follow your for me at least, to follow your portfolio and the kind of teams that you're drafting, the players you're drafting. And then, of course, it's super helpful to have the overlay tool while drafting, doing some of these things. So I'm a big fan of it. And I like what they're doing over there. It's Pat from the Fantasy Dog Pound, and then also Best Ball Josh are the co-founders and creators of Best Ball Overlay, and they do a really great job of keeping it updated, the customer service aspect of it, and yeah, really responsive to feedback too. So I'm a big fan. If you're drafting best ball teams like I am, I think that you should look into it, and you might like it. Just did one and drafted, started 2 longs. Oh, some slow drafts, nice. Yeah. What is the puppy at? I'm gonna look at the fill rate, right? So it's at 19% filled, almost 19% filled. Been open for like what? Yesterday and today. So 10% per day, 9% per day, essentially. It'll be open for a couple more days, but it's going to close in July for sure. So it's going to be pretty hard to max this one unless you're doing a bunch of slows or just drafting like a fiend. But I'll probably get in, I don't know, at least, I don't know, like 20 or so. Maybe more. We'll see. We'll see what next week's like. Yeah, appreciate you being here, AJ. Hope you had a great Thursday, and looking forward to a good Friday, getting into the weekend. Catch you later in some more drafts soon, my man. Ooh, Alex did a puppy where he started with Neighbors and Genty. That's pretty fun. Especially, I mean, I like Genty in the second round. So Neighbors and Genty, and then McLaurin JSN. That feels pretty good. Yeah, getting JSN in the 4th is also decent too. So you got, yeah, look in this one. We look in this draft right here. Neighbors and Genty, kind of in a similar spot. So I wonder if you were drafting from like the 9 or the 10 spot. So Neighbors, Genty, and then they go Breece Hall and Kyron. Really strong at running back there. And then hammered receivers after that. Took Justin Fields. That was the guy who took Trevor Lawrence and then Jordan Love. Jordan Love to go with his Matthew Golden. I was hoping maybe I'd get Jordan Love to come back around to pick 141, but then I wouldn't have been able to get Dallas Goedert, most likely. So it all works out in the end. But yeah, it's a pretty nice combo. BBO top notch. Yes, Anthony knows. We're big fans of it. Yeah, for sure, Chris. Like, yeah, it's all about, sometimes you get lucky and you land the exact combos or stacks you're like intending to get. So other times, the natural chaos tosses in some variation for you, and that can be healthy too for drafting teams, getting different, getting unique. And so sometimes you get players that fall well past ADP, and that creates some uniqueness in itself. For instance, I took Javonte Williams at pick 148. Most of the time, people are drafting him around pick 124. So just getting him at pick 148 makes my team a little bit different than standard. But also, I mean, he this late in drafts, rounds 11, 12, 13, players do and they can fall and go either well before or well after ADP. So it's not too crazy, but when you get some of that uniqueness up top, so I get Brock Bowers at pick 21. He has been sliding, falling a little bit, but you know, anything past that pick, getting Brock Bowers at the 2-3 turn, which I've seen people do. I think JT started on his stream tonight. He had a team. We had Jamar Chase, Brock Bowers, and then fell to pick 24, which is crazy. And then he took Lamar Jackson at pick 25. So pretty different build and taking advantage of some of that falling value to get different. Very fun. Yeah, appreciate you being here. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll catch y'all in another draft real soon. Be back in these streets next week after my vacation. And yeah, drafting best ball teams all summer. Make sure you hit the like on your way out. Make sure you're subscribed. And we'll see y'all next time. Peace.